urbanization has brought harm to society. Do you agree? Urbanization is widely acknowledged as an imperative phenomenon, and the sketch critics generally underline the negative aspects of the phenomenon. It's okay to. No need to brush up on the well-known arguments about the conflicts between urbanization and nature or socioeconomic equity. In his pioneer book, The Urban Revolution, French philosopher Henri Lefebvre was offering a relatively new term for the historical expansion of urban areas around the world. Urbanization was depicted as implosion-explosion by him, referring mostly to the industrial city which constitutes the origins of his urban revolution, thought in terms of not only the spatial but also the social aspects of the history of production of space. According to him, opposing to the generic Marxian approach in his time in 1970s, cities should no longer be defined as a spatial outcome of capitalist development. In fact, a direct opposite comprehension was needed. Cities were increasingly becoming more and more significant for historical change as means of reproduction. Within his scheme, the very phenomenon acquires a critical and historical role, primarily for capitalists, as a tool for creative destruction. See David Harvey's reconceptualization of the Schumpeterian term, which enables ruling class to fix the overaccumulated capital on land, mostly at the cost of destruction of nature and localities. Yet, thanks to the bilateral nature of the phenomenon, the same process of production of space can also have a critical role for social oppositions and movements. The social production of space was a historical laboratory of habitation and also revolutionary movements. The dialectical forces of history of urbanization have constantly reproduced the urban space, in Lefebvre's words, the differential space, in the form of isotopies, heterotopies 1, and utopies. Briefly, the shallow overview of urbanization can be seen as a destructive dimension of capitalist development. Yet, it must be noted that we owe to cities for being the places of the enlightening thoughts and movements in the course of history, as long as they have produced by the social forces of struggle for emancipation. 1. The term heterotopy can have different meanings in Lefebvre's and Foucault's philosophies, but both of them defines heterotopies as emancipatory spatio-temporal conditions which allow an ephemeral presence out of political power. Disagree. Urbanization correlates to lower fertility rates. People move to the city, birth rates drop to replacement level nearly immediately. Urbanization results in better utilization of resources. Double the population, and the number of schools, hospitals and gas stations increase 1.4-fold. The industrialization of agriculture has led people to move to the cities for a century. However, the dramatically greater farm yields has allowed for the preservation of existing farmland while feeding a growing population. Furthermore, it has allowed marginal land to revert back to wilderness in Europe and America, because we don't have subsistence farmers toiling on marginal land to literally feed their families. We'll see the same thing as Asia and Africa develop. In short, industrialization and urbanization is good on the whole for the human race and the planet. No. Urbanization, alone, is not a problem. The problem is the identity politics, policy making based on groups, rather than on individuals, that are practiced in many urban places. That practice has balkanized most American cities, making them almost ungovernable.